Now, if you're looking as scrawny as Arnold, you will want to have 36 eggs because it is basically like a dianabol cycle.
No way.
Audio Jungle.
36 eggs a day is the equivalent of a dianabol cycle. Skeptical eyes. However, you never know unless you try. So guys, for the next 4 weeks, we are going to be following the Vince Gironda 36 eggs a day diet. I have to say, I'm not fully sure what I either want to happen with this experiment or what will happen with this experiment. I've weighed it up in different ways. So for example, having the 36 eggs and then even just the chicken and vegetables for 2 meals, it puts my calories above what I normally have, which normally would cause someone to gain weight and muscle weight, which is, I guess, the idea from the precursor hormone diet that Vince has devised. But also with the lack of carbohydrates, I feel like perhaps that I might tighten up a little bit. Yes, of course, water retention is going to come down because there's less carbohydrates, but I feel like some body fat might come down as well, so potentially a change of body composition. Of course, also, I'll be training 6 days a week rather than just the 4 that I normally do. So now I'm going to be going to the gym more regularly, and I feel like that may also have a knock-on effect, not just from calories burned during the workout, but simply due to the increase in metabolism. So I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but I mean, that's why we're doing the experiment, to see what happens with this kind of old school philosophy. I mean, it's been said many times that Vince Gironda was way ahead of his time, and a lot of the theories and the diets that he advised, it's not just this diet he created other diets as well to do with simply weight loss or maximum muscle definition and so on. But it's been shown that with the science we have now, that at least a lot of his theories were actually correct. So it'll be interesting to see that in today's world, is his philosophy still applicable? So to see how effective the 36 egg a day diet is, I'm also going to be incorporating his recommended supplements and his recommended training program. So I've made sure to get a before picture to start me off. Now, I'm not really going to look at how much weight I lose or gain, only because I want to know that there is a visual difference. Now, if by the end of the 4 weeks I take another video and compare the two physique updates and there's not a big difference, then I'll know it's not really worth my time doing, because it's a lot of effort to eat 6 eggs, have all these supplements, etc., for a little difference. Like, there's no point taking my weight and it says, oh look, I gained a pound, and that's not really going to make a difference. I want to see visually that there is a big difference to know whether it is worth my effort. And if once it's completed, you'll be able to decide for yourself with the results I get whether it's worth you trying it at home. And how did Vince recommend getting those 36 eggs in a day? Of course, he had his own special protein drink. Typically, he would recommend 3 12-egg drinks a day. So I'm hoping that my smaller blender and flask is going to hold 12 eggs. Not likely. If I have to make 2, then I have to make 2. So let's see how we get on. Well, that's 7 and it's half full, so I'll probably get the 12. The thing is, there's still a couple of other things to add, so fingers crossed I'll get it done in 1. So I may have overshot this. That's 12 eggs. Now, there's really not much room for anything else. Typically, what you would top it up with then is half and half. Now, if you're from America, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're from Great Britain, like I am, you probably won't, because I checked 4 supermarkets to see if I could find half and half. And what half and half is, it's basically milk that is half whole milk and half cream, because you're looking for a high-fat alternative for the shake. Typically, the 36 egg a day diet is low in carbohydrates. Now, I've only got whole milk because that is all I could find, so I'm just going to be very sparing with it, and with the room I've got left, that's probably a good thing. Typically, he would also add a scoop of protein. Now, I don't think I'm going to have enough room for that, so I will have the scoop of protein after, or maybe even later. You know, I might just have it straight after my workout. But let's add the milk, just the little bit I'm going to get in here, and let's get it made. Wow, that really wasn't a lot of milk. Oh, it sounds like it's struggling. Now, because of the space I'm limited with, unfortunately, I couldn't get a proper Vince protein drink. But this does have the 12 eggs, and it does have a small amount of whole milk. I will make up the rest of it somewhere else. Either have a protein shake on its own, so I'll get that scoop of protein. Maybe I'll have a little bit more. I'll have milk with that. Then that's the full lot. So let's see how it tastes. There's actually no smell from it. Like. All right. I don't know how to describe it. The yolk is definitely coming through, and the fact that because it's been blended, the stringiness or the gooiness isn't there, so it just literally is like a creamy drink. I doubt the milk I added is really going to make that much of a difference or change the taste in any way, so I'm probably just having 12 raw eggs straight up. But yeah, I'm going to finish this off, and I'm going to have meal 1, which is just meat and salad. I'm going to have vegetables. I'm going to make sure they're low carbohydrate vegetables before I go for my workout. Now, while I have my drink made of hopes and dreams, I'm going to go over 4 supplements that I bought specifically for doing this program. They're recommended by Vince, so I thought to give the program and the diet a proper go, I should really do what Vince recommended. So the first thing I bought was beef liver tablets. Now, to start from the beginning, the diet is known as a precursor hormone diet, and it's designed to ultimately bring your body to its most anabolic state. So lots of cholesterol and fat in the eggs and the egg yolks in order to bring up testosterone levels, and so on and so forth. So it's the same with the supplements. The beef liver, it's so densely packed in nutrients, it's going to help support your body's anabolic functions. Now, in Vince's program, it says he took 10 liver tablets a day. Now, I did a little bit more digging. It turned out supplements just weren't that good in his day. So each tablet was only worth 125 milligrams. Now, these ones are worth 750 each. So I can actually stick to what it recommends, which is 1 to 3 capsules a day. So I'll go with the 2. That'll give me exactly maybe a few milligrams over what Vince recommends, but I'm sure he'd forgive me. Next, we have sea kelp. Now, sea kelp, again, the same idea, very densely packed with nutrients. We're trying to give the body everything it needs to support itself in its anabolic state. Specifically, this is high in iodine, which is going to be fantastic for supporting the metabolic system, which of course your metabolism affects a lot of functions in the body, especially how much muscle you can build, how much fat you can burn. So sea kelp, again, for the metabolic systems, but also very highly packed in vitamins and minerals. Now this one I'm interested in because I will paraphrase here, but he went along the mindset of it's not about how much food you eat, it's about how much your body can digest and utilize. So he believed that a lot of the bodybuilders, especially then, didn't have to eat as much as they really did because their bodies were only using some of it. So for that, I have some digestive enzymes, which I'm going to take one with each of my drinks, because it's known now especially that cooked eggs allows you to absorb more protein because it's been pre-digested. So to get the best of both worlds, the yolk is known to get more nutrients in your system when it's raw, but the whites, it's known more, you get more into your system when it's cooked. So I'm hoping by having a digestive enzyme tablet with the drink, I'm going to get the best of both worlds, the yolk in its best form and the white in its best form. So, digestive enzymes. And lastly, because my diet is going to be rich in eggs, meat, and I'm just going to get as much salad and vegetables in on those 2 meals as possible, just to make sure I've covered all bases. I've got a multivitamin and mineral, again, just to make sure I'm covering all bases when it comes to my nutrition. The only thing I'm really worried about is fiber, which normally I aim for 35 grams a day, and everything works great. Now, we're just going to have to see how things go. I've swapped out salads for vegetables because vegetables tend to have more fiber in it. But with this, we'll just see how it goes. We're running the next 4 weeks by Vince's rules. Whatever Vince says goes. So, I'm about halfway done with the drink, and this is going to get old real fast. It's actually a lot more filling than I thought. Now, the taste is fine when you're like hungry, but when you start feeling full, and the taste is like, wah. But I think what I'll do is, to try and avoid this, is I'm going to purposely make it 2 drinks rather than 1, and I'll add the scoop of protein powder to add a bit of flavour. He also recommended adding a banana. That's the very few carbs that you get on the diet plan, but adding a banana will probably make a difference, so I'm going to do that. And in hindsight, yeah, I'll make 2 drinks, I'll add the flavouring, and hopefully that'll help me get through it.
So I just finished my workout today, and I did chest, back and shoulders, took some advice from Vince Gironda, which was take 30 seconds between each set. Really effective, and I think with a lack of carbs, I felt cold before I went in for my workout. Then I got a sudden hot flush about halfway through my workout. Face was all red, and I'm hoping that's just my body starting to utilise some fats more than carbohydrates. So I'll try and get some footage of the next workout. Unfortunately, the gym was quite busy, and I don't like to be a nuisance and get in people's way when they're training, so I opted not to video any of it. But I'll try and go in at a quieter time tomorrow, which is for arms and forearms, which will be interesting. I haven't done forearms in years and years. But anyway, I'm going to go home, get meal number 2, which will just be chicken and vegetables, and I'll see you there.
So guys, meal 2 or post-workout meal is not exciting, but it works. Just chicken breast in strips and vegetables. So the way the diet works is you have 3 of the protein drinks that Vince stated, and your 2 other meals, it's simply meat and salad, or I'm having vegetables because there's more fiber in it. So I can choose beef, I can choose fish, I can choose chicken. I mean, that's all fine. I've opted for chicken to start because I realise there's a lot of fat already in the eggs that I'm eating, and I figured that it might be better to start off with having lean chicken breast instead of beef or fish. Now, if I get this completely wrong and it turns out I'm really hungry, then I'll at least make one of the meals the following day, maybe beef or fish or something that's more fatty, a bit more calories. But we're going to try chicken and vegetables and just kind of go from there. Workout today was really good. I went over it a little bit in the previous clip, but I'll tell you what, the pump I got in my chest, my shoulders, like my chest right now, my chest right now feels really full. I did back and shoulders as well. Now, I've heard that it can be from the fats from the eggs. Obviously, cholesterol and testosterone go hand in hand. However, I feel like possibly it's due from the carbs from the day before, and Grant had a lot of carbs the day before because I knew this was coming up. So fingers crossed this continues and my workouts are still really, really good. But I do feel that potentially as I get to the 3rd day, the pump's going to start to come down as my body's glycogen levels and carb levels start to drop. On the 4th day, Vince advocates always having at least 1 carb meal. I'm going to try and keep it to 1 carb meal. If I really need it, I'll have a couple of carb meals. But you know what, we'll jump in and just see how we get on with it. So, 2nd drink coming up. This time I'm going to do 2 drinks and hopefully get the actual taste. There'll be a bit more milk in there, and we'll actually add the protein scoop that's recommended. So let's give it a try. Okay, so I decided to go 8 eggs because it kind of looked like it wasn't going to be that big, so I'll do 1 with 8 eggs and then 1 with 6 eggs. Grant, I think you need to learn how to math. 8 eggs and 4 eggs. Bit of a bigger helping of milk this time, but not too much because it's not the proper half and half that's advocated. 8 eggs, a bigger helping of milk, but still not too much. Chocolate protein on top. Let's see how it goes. So I don't know if you can see it, but the protein part of it doesn't seem, some of it seems to get stuck to the sides. Bit of a pain, might be a learning curve. Next time maybe whiz up the milk and the eggs first. Okay, hopefully this is more palatable than just the eggs on their own that I had this morning. Okay, so the chocolate protein overpowers the egg taste, which is great. The milk, I think, is taking the edge off as well, so you know what? The way it's supposed to be drunk, it's not bad at all. What I had this morning was a monstrosity. By the time I got halfway through it, I was wishing I didn't even start the experiment, but you know what? I can do this. I can do this. So once I finish this, I'm going to make one more. One which is with 4 eggs, so it'll probably just be like a half shake, and then that'll be me until the second meal. So meal 4, guys, back to the good old vegetables and chicken breast. Started feeling like I was getting headaches, or just very, very mild headaches, and I realised why. As my carbohydrates are getting lower, I'm flushing out a lot of water, and with that, a lot of salt. So I've specifically added salt to the chicken breast this time round to try and bring those levels up. I'm drinking lots of water with the salt. That should hopefully hydrate me a bit. So in hindsight for previously, and something I'll do in the future when I have these meals, I'll probably add salt on purpose. Because I'm having simply just eggs, vegetables, and whatever meat I choose on the day or on the meal, there's not a lot of salt in there. So even with the supplements, even with the sea kelp, the vitamins and minerals, the liver tablets, there's a lack of salt. So I'll add that manually to each meal. But, yep, looking forward to this. It's not been too difficult. If anything, I've been feeling full all day. I've had no issues with hunger whatsoever. Energy levels has been absolutely fine. Like I said, I might still just be running off yesterday's carbs, but I feel good. I've still got my 3rd protein drink of the day, which will be just before I go to bed. So I'm going to tuck into this. I'll do a couple of hours of editing, and I'll see you for the last shake. So guys, just finished my last drink. That was actually tough. I've not been feeling that hungry at all. I'm assuming it's the calories that I'm getting from the eggs now. Once the carbohydrates from the previous day perhaps has run out, maybe I'll feel more hungry and it'll be easier to get the eggs in, etc. But at the moment, I'm not hungry. Energy levels are really good. I felt, like I said, I had a good workout today. So just going over what we've had today, 322 grams of protein, which is just over twice what I normally aim for. My body probably doesn't need all that protein. I know we're getting all that in because we're getting the egg yolks, which is the main thing that Vince wants from the precursor hormone diet, which is to boost the cholesterol, the good cholesterol in the body, to boost the testosterone levels. But if I do need it, I've got 322 grams of protein. Fats, which the only source of fats I'm getting in the whole diet is from the egg yolks. 396 grams of fat, which is 3,564 calories. Carbohydrates, I've had copious amounts of vegetables, and I had a singular banana before my workout, so I'm just going to round it off at say 50 grams of carbs all in, 200 calories, so all together today 5,052 calories, which is a huge amount for me. I mean, I weigh about 92 kilograms-ish. So just over 5,000 calories is a lot for me. Because we're low in carbs, hopefully that's not going to equal a bunch of fat gain. But because Vince was so against being overly heavy, he was always about quality muscle, the aesthetics of a good physique, small waist. I will continue to believe in his diet, and we will continue this again from tomorrow. Day 2, guys, and I'll tell you what, I slept really well. I'm assuming it's because I didn't have the carb boost at the end of the night, so I went to bed and then just lights out. It was really good sleep. I woke up hungry-ish today. It wasn't for an egg drink, but I think the carbs from yesterday from the day before yesterday. I think it's starting to burn off now, but still feeling good. Muscles from yesterday's workout, not feeling too bad. Chest and back, I can definitely feel tired. Shoulders, not so bad. Today we've got arms and forearms, and with it being a Sunday, I'm hoping that I will get a little bit of B-roll for you at least. If not, I'll go over a couple of exercises that I'm doing. Specifically, one that I've never tried before, but Vince created, was the drag curl, which looks interesting. It's not one I've done before, but I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Hopefully I'll get some video footage of that. But I am going to have my egg drink, and I'll see you in the next clip. So your guy fucked up. Big time. Huge regrets at the moment. When I got up this morning, one thing I had to do which I didn't do, and that's take my chicken breast out the freezer. So for my second meal after my workout, I have to have another one of these. So instead of this for meal 3, it's now meal 2, and I have chicken and vegetables back to back. Chicken and vegetables back to back, fine, but I really wanted something to chew on, something solid. So I'm gonna have another egg shake instead. Now, how did the workout go? The workout itself was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I tried the drag curl for the first time, which humbled me pretty damn quick. I started at a 20 kilo bar that I thought was humble enough. Turns out, do one set with a 20 kilo bar, 30 seconds later, try the second set, I'm dropping it to a 15 kilo bar, and you'll notice on my last set, I'm down to a 10 kilogram bar. Those things are tough. Now, I wonder, I could feel my forearms working quite hard as well as my biceps. And because I've never really done much direct forearm work, I wonder if that was what was making the exercise real difficult. However, when I moved on to preacher curl, and I also did incline dumbbell curls, I noticed that the weights I was lifting was less than normal as well. That'll be down to the 30 seconds rest, of course. I was moving through the exercises quite quickly. But I think the drag curl really works the bicep differently than simply curling and bring the dumbbell, the barbell forward in front of you by keeping it tucked right into the body. I think it works different areas of the bicep, and as I said, the forearm as well, that I'm not used to. So if anything, I hope it's just been a really effective exercise. There's something I'm not used to. I then moved on to triceps, where I did a V-bar push down, followed by a straight bar overhead extension. And you won't see it on the footage, but I then did some machine dips where I tucked the handles in tight and isolated the triceps. And then for the first time ever, I did some forearm work, direct forearm work. So you'll see in the footage, I did some behind the back barbell forearm wrist curls, which was really effective, enjoyed that. I then moved on to the preacher bench to get a good angle to get to get extension in the forearms, which again, very effective. And you won't see it on the footage, but I went old school and did some barbell wrist curls with hands and elbows close together, and then curled up as well. I did that light just to get a good full range of motion. I really enjoyed the workout. I can see why the first workout in the program is chest, back, and shoulders, because it was a tough workout. It required a lot of energy, and as the carbohydrates continue to deplete from my body, I'm assuming by the time I get to the last workout, it's gonna feel tough. Arms and forearms are pretty tired. Tomorrow we've got legs and abs before I either continue and go back to day 1 or take 1 day off, with the day I can have a carb meal, which I'm just gonna see how I feel. The program says 6 days in a row, workout 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, day off. I'm just gonna see how I feel. If I don't feel strong, if I'm not feeling good, if my muscles are still aching, like my chest, back, shoulders, then I will probably just take the day off, have the carb meal, let that saturate the body a little bit, and then go back to it the next day. But I will sit here and enjoy my egg drink, and I'll see you for chicken and vegetables. So I've been doing some editing, and now it's finally time to get some solid food. So again, I'm sticking with mixed veg, chicken breast. At this point, you can't go wrong. I'm not finding myself being overly hungry. I feel like I've got enough nutrition, but I feel like I want to eat, if that makes sense. Like if I had to, I could not have this meal with the amount of calories I've had from the eggs, but I do really fancy having solid food. So yeah, I'm gonna have the chicken and veg. I'm gonna continue editing this video, which is the one you're watching now. It's kind of like a bit of inception going on here. So I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna enjoy it. And my next meal again will be chicken and veg because I've already had to deal with 2 egg shakes in a row. You know the drill by now, you don't need me to tell you. Chicken and veg. And last meal. So this has been a really long video, in fact one of my longest yet. Now from this point on it's just going to be, a video is going to be a weekly update, it's not going to be going through the whole thing. The first video had to have a bit more information regarding what I'm eating, how I'm training, etc, etc. But the next 3 videos for this experiment is going to be more update based, probably just 5-10 minutes. So thanks for following along so far and I will see you next week.